Hey guys, it's Diana here, and today we're sewing along the Zayne hoodie, and I am excited because I'm starting my holiday sewing. So I've got some holiday fabric, and so it's really exciting. This is the perfect pattern for that, so I'm really excited for it. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I already cut out my pieces. I have my bodice, and I already have done some steps that we're gonna do here, and then you just repeat on the other side of your bodice. So this is my back bodice actually, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bottom bodice. This is the bottom part that goes to attach to the bodice. So we're gonna lay it right on top of this, and right sides together. I'm gonna meet it at the raw edge at the bottom of the bodice. So I'm attaching it to the bottom of the bodice. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pin it, and I'm going to sew that together, right sides together again. Okay, and I'm gonna serge, but you can zigzag stitch if that's what you would like. But I'm just serging. If you don't have a serger, if you put it on your list, it's awesome. And I attached it together. So now I'm gonna open it up, and I'm going to steam this seam down. If you want to, right now you can go ahead and top stitch that seam. You can do it with a stretch stitch or with a cover stitch. It's up to you. And I'm going to go do it a quick top stitch on this one. I'm just top stitching that seam down. Like I said, you can use, if you don't have a cover stitch, you can use a stretch stitch, or you can use you can just top stitch it. And I actually just got a cover stitch not that long ago. Before then, I didn't do it just because I'm not a huge fan of the zigzag seam on top of my hoodie, and I think it looked just fine without the top stitching. But since I have the cover stitch now, I did it. You can also do it with a double needle if you'd like. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our pocket. Here it is. Here's my pocket. So here's my one piece, and here's my second piece. So we're putting them right sides together. And I am going to pin, and we're going to sew them together all the way around, except for the raw edge at the bottom. So you can kind of see how my pocket is going to go this way, because these are this is where the pockets are going to go, and these are the bottom sides. So I'm going to stitch all the way around, starting at the bottom all the way around, and leaving this raw bottom edge open. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Making sure both fabrics are in there. And for this part, you can do it on a sewing machine. But I just like to do everything on my serger. Okay. And then you're gonna turn and steam, and if you want to, you can go ahead and top stitch all the way around it. I'm gonna use this little guy right here just to poke out the seams. And like I said, if you do it with a sewing machine, sometimes your seams are a little bit smaller, so it will be straighter. But I don't think it's too bad for so I just do it and steam. And like I said, if you want to go ahead and top stitch around, you can go ahead and top stitch the pocket area, because the other part is going to get sewn in if I push it all the way out right and then steam it. The other area is going to get sewn in, so I'll have, like, you know, the sewn in top stitch like. But this part over here, the pocket area, obviously doesn't get sewn in, so you can go ahead and top stitch that. Let me go ahead and give it a quick top stitch. My scissors. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side real quickly. Whoops. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and find the center of my pocket. Here's my front bodice. So I'm going to find the center of my pocket. So I'm going to fold it in half. And find my center. And I'm going to mark it where the raw edge is. At the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing for my front bodice. Find my center right here. I'm going to notch it. So then I'm going to go ahead and grab my pocket, and the raw edge I'm going to meet up that center. And I was worried that my fabric, because the deer go back up and down, like they face down on some parts and up on some others, but I actually didn't even pay much attention and I got it right. So I'm like, ooh, shoo. Okay, so now I'm meeting those edges, raw edges right here, and I'm meeting all the way around. And then now I'm going to sew my pocket on. And when I sew my pocket on, I'm going to sew the top line and edge, but not my pocket, okay? So you're gonna sew the edges and then the top part, okay? But you don't wanna sew your pockets in because you want them to be able to put their hands in. So I'm gonna sew the top on and then the sides, okay? The bottom sides, but not the pocket itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Again, you can do a stretch stitch. If you have a cover stitch, you can do that. So I'm just sewing it in. I leave my scissors over there all the time. Okay, and then I'm gonna give it a quick top stitch on the bottom side because I already went ahead and top stitched right there, so I'm just gonna give it a stitch over the top stitch.
other side. So all I'm doing is I'm attaching the pocket, but I'm not attaching, like I said, I'm not closing where their hands would go. So I'm not closing that part, because I want to make sure that they can stick their hands in the pocket. So my pocket is on, and see, I stitched on the top and on the sides, but they can still stick their hands in the pocket right here. Okay, so I went up top and on the bottom sides. Okay, so now that my pocket is on, I'm gonna grab my top and my back bodice, my front and back bodice. Sorry, I'm cutting all these trails. And I'm gonna meet it at the shoulders. My two bodices. And pin. And I'm gonna go ahead and sew the shoulders together. Okay. I always lose my scissors. I don't know where I put them. Do you do that? Place your scissors somewhere and then you don't remember where you put them? I do that all the time. Okay, so now my shoulders are together. Right here. So I've got my front and my back together at the shoulders. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my sleeve. Now, I am going to be making the layered look on my sleeve. So here's my bottom sleeve and here's my short top sleeve. So the first thing, if you're doing the layered sleeve, you're going to go ahead and hem that short sleeve. So I folded it over 1/2 inch. I steamed it, and now I'm going to go ahead and hem it. So you can hem it with a zigzag stitch or on your cover stitch machine. Really up to you. So I'm just hemming that real quick. I didn't know how awesome a cover stitch was until I got one. It is life-changing. Seriously, it is. Okay, so I got my hem. And now if you want, you can grab your bottom sleeve, your long sleeve, and we're gonna meet them up at the top. But if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead and baste them together. So they're wrong side facing right side, because they're gonna go on top of each other. So this is the right side of my bottom fabric and the right side of my top fabric are both facing up. So you can go ahead and pin them together and baste together. So then when you attach them to the bodice, they're basted together, so you're attaching both, not just the one sleeve. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a quick baste. My pen got stuck. Quickly basted it on with a long stitch. Okay. And now I'm gonna go ahead and both of those, so I did the same thing to my other sleeve. Where's my, so okay, both of them are ready. They're both attached together and they're both hemmed. The top sleeve is hemmed. So now I'm gonna go ahead and attach them to my bodice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this bodice up like so. And I'm going to find where the middle is on my sleeve. So I do that by folding it in half and finding the middle on the top. And then I just mark it with a little notch. And making sure both sleeves are on there, I am going to put it on right sides together. So the right side of the fabric needs to meet the right sides. Two right sides together. And I'm gonna pin it on. all the way down to one side, and then all the way down to the other side. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other sleeve. So when I serge it, I can just go ahead and serge both of them at the same time. Find the middle. And a notch. And pin. You can pin, you can clip. Either one. I'm so excited. It's getting chilly, and my son, actually, this is the first year. Last year he didn't really like to very much, but this year he's loving hoodies. He's been wearing hoodies almost every day to school already, and it really isn't even that cold. So this is exciting. He's gonna love this one. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go search that raw edge of my sleeves together. And remember, you need to keep all three of them in there. Both the sleeves and the shoulder piece. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to that. Paying attention to the fact that you gotta have three in there. 3 and no more. Okay. Alright, one sleeve is on, and now I'm going to move on to the other one. I took my pin off and it came off my serger. Okay, here we go. Okay, so my sleeve is on. Both of my sleeves are on. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the bodice together. So I'm going to open it up just like this. Place both of them together. And I'm going to meet all the seams. So I have, right here I have my, I'm going to trim this little tails because they're going to get cut right here when I serge, so that'll be fine. But I'm going to meet my seam right here, where my top bodice and the bottom of the bodice meet. If you have a pattern, then you might want to match your pattern. I'm not the best at matching my patterns, even when I cut them. Okay, then I'm going to meet that seam at the shoulder, the armpit area right here. Now make sure that you're getting both sleeves. So right now I'm going to match up the short sleeve, so there's going to be 4 pieces of fabric right here, the 2 short sleeves, front and back of the short sleeve, and the front and back of the long sleeve, and then the rest of the sleeve. Again, if you're meeting patterns, I don't even know why I sew with stripes anymore. I love stripes, but matching the patterns of the stripes, don't love that part so much. Even though there's been a couple times where I've worked with stripes and they've turned out great. But then there's certain times where I try real hard. It's like the harder I try, the worse they turn out. There was one time where I did something and there was tons of stripes. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to bother because it's not going to turn out. And for some reason, it turned out perfect. I'm like, what? Okay. So now I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Meeting those patterns, meeting those seams, and all the way down. Okay, so now I'm finishing meeting all these lines. All these stripes. All the way down. And now I'm going to go ahead and serge those seams. Making sure you catch those sleeves, the two sleeves. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. Same thing to the other side, stitching them together. Making sure both of those sleeves are in there. Now I'm going to turn my hoodie right side out. And we're almost done. It's coming along. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and work on my sleeve cuffs. Here are my cuffs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them in like a hot dog, right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and serge that raw edge to make it a continuous circle, a cuff. And I'm going to do that for both. See? Always losing my scissors. Okay, and now I'm going to flip them out. And I'm going to meet those raw edges. At the top. Okay, so it's flipped. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. Flip those raw edges out. And meet them together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, well, I'm trimming these little things because it's going to be serged on, so it's okay. Okay, so here's my sleeve. I'm going to fit my cuff into my sleeve, raw side up, so I can meet those raw edges with my sleeve. So I'm going to match that seam right there. And then I'm going to match all the raw edge all the way around. And pin. Okay. And I'm going to do the same for my other sleeve. So I can go ahead and serge both of them on. So I'm tucking it in, raw side up. And I'm going to meet those raw edges. And now I'm going to go ahead and serge that on. making sure you're catching both, well, 3 fabrics. The 2 sides of the cuffs and then the sleeve. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to do the same thing to the other. And here's my other. Cuffs are on. So now we're going to go ahead and do the waistband. Waistband, so you cut out 2 and you put them right sides on top of each other. And I already serged that one side together, that one raw edge, so I'm going to serge the other raw edge. Now I'm going to fold them right side out, so wrong sides together. So you can hide that seam. I'm going to pin it at the seams. Here's one seam and here's the other. And then after I pin it at the seams, I'm going to quarter it. So I'm going to fold them right, the 2 pins are going to meet together and we're going to go out to one side. And if your fabric is rolling like mine is rolling right here, you can give it a little bit of a steam. And actually I think the iron turned off. It did. But it's still a little bit warm. And then to help it calm down, so that way you can meet the raw edges. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I will clip the edges so that way I know where my quarter points are. And that's going to be my front and my back. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing to my hoodie. So I meet where the seams are, and I go to the back, and that's going to be my back point. And then I go to my front, and this is going to be my front point. And you have to make sure that both are on there. And actually there's already a little notch right there because from when I did the pocket. So I'm going to meet those. I meet the seams at the seams. I meet the back. Where's my back? Here it is. With my back point at the raw edges, and then I'm going to meet the other seam right here, and then I'm going to meet my front. Now on my front, when I'm serging it on, I know that I have to have 5 pieces of fabric. I have to have my 2 pockets, pocket front, pocket liner, outer and liner. I have to have my 2 waistbands, the 2 sides, and I have to have my actual hoodie. And I'm going to start serging at the back. I have that seam in the back. I always like to put the seams, the tails at the back. And so I got to make sure I have 3 fabrics on everything else except for the front. I'm serging all the way around, making sure all those edges are in. Especially if your fabric is rolling, you gotta make sure that they're all in. my waistband is on. Steam that a little bit, and my hoodie's done, except for now I'm going to do my hood part of my hoodie. And if you're doing a neckband, you would just do the neckband kind of like we did the waistband. You would quarter it and attach it on the neck. But I'm doing the hood option, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the hood on. I'm putting the hood. This is my outer. I'm not really sure which one I'm gonna do for outer and liner. I'm gonna look at it on front and top of each other. But anyway, I'm putting the right sides together on top of each other. And you're gonna do this for the liner and for the outer. Right sides together, I'm gonna pin, and I'm gonna go ahead and serge all the way around the outer edge of my hood. Okay, here it is, my hood. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do my hood with the stripes on the inside or with the stripes on the outside. And I think I'm going to go with stripes on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my outer hood, right sides out, and I'm going to insert it into my inner, which is going to be wrong sides out, so that the right sides meet on the inside. Right sides on the inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin pin them together. So I meet them at the seam at the top of the head, at the top, and then I'm going down. And then I'm going over to the other side. Down to the other side. And now I'm going to go ahead and serge that together with the outer for the face. And it's looking so good. I'm so excited. You guys, this is so cute. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to tuck my inner in. And I'm going to steam my edges, and I like to usually steam them in a way that you can still see a little bit of the print from underneath. That way it kind of comes through a little bit, kind of like a piping, but not really. A piping without having to do the piping. So that's how I like to steam it. And then you can go ahead and top stitch if you'd like. That way it kind of stays. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can do it with a stretch stitch or your cover stitch. Ooh, I'm getting stuck on my piece right here. here I go. Top stitching it all the way around. You can top stitch it and you don't have to if you don't have a cover stitch, or if you don't want to go ahead and do the zigzag stitch, you don't want to take the time. It's up to you. Okay. So now, figure I'll just get up and pull it instead of trying to fight with it. I'm going to attach my hood to my hoodie. I'm going to mark my hood, the front of my hood. Let's see, I hope I have a ruler here. So I'm going to find the front, and how I do that is I'm going to find the shoulders, go to the front, to the back, and there's the back. Mark the shoulders again, go to the front, and here's my front. And I'm going to mark 1 inch from each side. So 1 inch out to the left, I'm going to mark it. And 1 inch out to the right, and I'm going to mark it. And then I'm going to attach my hood. Right side, so outer side to my top. So I'm going to attach it at the back first to the seams where the back seams are. I'm going to attach those back seams. Well, I'm going to pin them. And then I'm going to come around, and my front, my left front is going to attach to my right needle, to the needle that's on the right. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the right part of the hood. Is going to come around, and that is going to attach on the top, right on where my left needle is. So they're crisscrossing each other. So they're right on top of each other. So this one will go on the right and the other one will go on the left. So they'll be crossing each other. So it's like a crisscross on the front. Okay, and then after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pin everything else so that they're together. So that when I serge, I'm serging them all on. But I just wanted to meet those points first so I can make sure that I meet those points. So now I'm going to go back over here and pin over here where my side is to make sure. And then I'm going to pin my other side to make sure as well. But I just wanted to make sure that I do the front first so that it will be together at the right spot. So it overlaps. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start at the back and I'm going to serge that raw edge all the way around. Making sure that all the fabric is in there. Especially when you come to the part that they met up at. My hood is on. I'm going to trim some of this excess fluff that's everywhere. And I'm finished. And do you see a little bit of the piping? Because I did a little bit overlap. But you see a little bit of that, and then you see the stripes on the inside. So that's pretty cool. And here's my overlap. And I'm done. Yay! My son is going to love this.
All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. Comment below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe so you can see all the awesome videos we have. If you make it, please post it on our Facebook or Instagram account. We'd love to see it. Thank you so much for coming along with me. If you have any questions, again, let me know. Post it below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.